Kwesi Neblett. He is the president of Community Projects Incorporated and the mastermind behind the hashtag Black Prostate Check Challenge, a campaign that aims to raise awareness about prostate health in the Black community. Kwesi, before we talk, let's look at this video.
I'm a 38-year-old Black man. My father has late-stage prostate cancer, and I'm finding out and learning that Black men are 1 in 4 likely to have prostate cancer and have it in the late stages without knowing. So let's get together and let's start getting tested and getting early warning signs about this prostate cancer with the hashtag Black Prostate Check Challenge. Join me and let's get our prostates checked.
Welcome to Let's Talk, Kwesi. How are you?
I'm good, Denise. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I mean, it's such a important topic, and one that we don't really see too many young Black men talking about. And so I want to start off with that. I mean, I think it's great, the campaign that you have, but what inspired you to launch this campaign?
Actually, a lot of times when people say tragedy or circumstances usually is an inspiration to a lot of things. And unfortunately, my father, Charles Neblett, PhD, he contracted it, prostate cancer. And we found out he had stage 4 prostate cancer this year that metastasized. And that kind of got, as a family, as a whole, we wanted to jump in. And I decided that it was upon me to make sure that he gets the best care possible. So upon us looking for treatment, us looking for doctors and making sure he had the right things in place, we started finding out we had more questions than answers. And then as we started rolling the thick of things, our family realized that my father, Charles Neblett, was in a deficit because we found out that Black men with prostate cancer had a higher death rate, had a higher contraction rate, and we was behind the ball. We didn't have enough Black men in the tests and the studies, and as we started working with like Dr. Clayton Yates of Johns Hopkins, we understood that from him, he broke down the ideas and the things that Black men have a genetic marker that it makes us more susceptible to cancer, to prostate cancer, that we did not understand. So as we went through this, we realized that there's more Black men than just my father that's going to be dealing with this problem. And
it's funny, if I can cut you off 1 second, just to say that not too long ago, I met a gentleman who was a prostate cancer survivor. We were at a community event, and he said to me, Denise, if I threw a rock in the air, I guarantee you that whatever man it hits when it comes down has had or will have prostate cancer, which meant that could have been 3 out of 4. And are those the statistics that you're looking at, that you've seen as far as its prevalence?
There's different numbers from different agencies, but with the Johns Hopkins, it's actually 1 out of 6 Black men. And so when we look at it, we see the disparities in healthcare. We see the disparities in patient care, and also when it comes to the outreach to Black men and getting from the doctors into the patient decision making. It is a very, very, very big steep hill. And so right now, what we are looking at is the coming together with the hashtag to get the conversations going, not only with Black men together, but also get it with the scientists, the doctors, the clinics, getting it with the policymakers, and getting it with the voices of the people in the community that are affected. Because it's not just the Black men that are affected by it; it's their families, it's their loved ones, it's their friends, it's the community at large that is being affected, because the average cost annually for stage 4 prostate cancer for treatment is $92,344. I personally don't know any black man on that in my circle that has almost 100 grand sparingly for that type of treatment. So we understand because of that that most treatments and a lot of treatments that's not covered by the FDA is not covered by insurance.
One of the things that I reflect on back in the day, and we have Howard University radio station, for example, used to have Tom Joyner. I mean, he was all over the country, right? I don't know if you know
Right.
that name, but
Yes.
and I think it was every June, maybe it was October. I'm not sure, but it was May. Okay, we probably should have done it every month, but was take a man. What is it? Take your father to the doctor, or take your husband to the doctor, or just trying to encourage people to continue to get checked for prostate cancer. And like I said, you're a young man. I'm assuming that you are. At least you look like a young man.
Thank you.
I mean, what are they saying about when prostate exams should begin? And how will this campaign really promote men getting screened?
Well, prostate cancer screenings should start around 35 to 38. And because what we're seeing is that we have a lot of false positives in black men when it comes to getting their prostates checked. So 35 to 38 and being very consistent with those things is what is necessary. Because once we see it, the earlier the better. So we can get prostate checked today and then wait 5 years or 6 years. We got to stay consistently throughout each year to at least have the prostate check. So making sure that we're on top of it and we get that early detection. But to what you just spoke about was how is what we're doing is and it's going to bring about change, and it's the fact that we're trying to get the most updated information, and we're trying to change the narrative, not just the screening, not just getting tested, because that's a part of it. But a major issue is we have to get into the studies. We have to get into the studies of it, because if we have a unique disposition when it comes to prostate cancer, we can't afford to allow other people to do all the studies. But our genetic markers are very unique to us, and our studies is going to read very differently. Our treatment plans are going to should be very different, because if we're doing the same treatment plan as someone else, but we're contracting it, we're developing it in our bodies, and our bodies reacting to it differently, it does us no good to go off of one study. It's like someone having a different test, and we're taking their answers. No, we have to get involved with the studies. We have to make sure that our position is clear, what we need, and then we also have to make sure that we are getting the funding to make sure that not only we got the funding for the studies, which President Biden he produced a lot of funding for now studies for cancer, but we don't have money for the treatment. So it doesn't. So we have too many men right now with prostate
like a double
cancer.
whammy. They
that
can't afford to get it.
They can't afford to get the treatment, but yet they already know they have cancer. So what about the people who do have cancer? And so that's what we have to do. We have to burn the candle on both ends in order to get everything done. And so that's
Let's talk about let's talk about the studies for a minute, because we were very present down at the Congressional Black Caucus. We had a great sort of coincidental run-in with a conversation with the folks from NIH, who are part of the minority health division, that are talking about how to get these more African Americans or Black folks involved in these clinical trials and studies and what have you. We don't do that, and there are reasons. NIH says we understand why people don't want to participate. So one, I mean, are you aware currently of any studies, and how can or what else would you say about how Black men can find them and participate?
Well, I'm aware there are studies. However, we don't have there's not studies directly for African American men or Black men in general. So that's the key. It's not about just getting but the thing is we have to do a grassroots type of thing. We can't just get Black men involved. Black men are the focal point. but it's the Black families, it's the Black peoples, Black women. We have, because Black women are known to go to the doctor more um, than Black men. However, we need everybody in place to where we can say, okay, cool. Every year we talk about it all on a regular basis. We have conversations with the men and the families, and hey, all right, there's a study. We need to be in a study. We need to push for doctors and different organizations to do the study for us. We all, like Dr. Yates out of out of John Hopkins. He is a doctor that's trying to do those things. He's trying to develop these things and get more focus on African American men and Black men as a whole. So that's the push, is to put ourselves in a position to where we can have these studies for ourselves, get the empirical evidence and the data that we need to where we can make better informed decisions, figure out which treatments not only work for us, but it's going, because the thing is the key is not to just to get rid of the cancer. The key is to holistically, as the whole body and that person, is to heal them. Because if you kill the cancer, but the body's too weak to survive, the body dies as well. So
Yeah, interesting.
we don't need to just kill the cancer. We need to treat the whole person. Their mental is going to be affected. Their spiritual is going to be affected. Their nutrition, everything is going to be affected. Everything. So we have to address all the aspects of that person, because those things also negatively affect the cancer. So if we don't put ourselves in a position to where those people are in good health as a whole, what happens is we know that stress exacerbates it. We know
Oh,
that
yeah.
not getting
Yeah,
sleep exacerbates it. Not getting the right nutrients exacerbates the problem. So
exactly.
that's the thing that we have to start looking forward to and focusing on.
Well, on the flip side of that, because you talked about the cost of treatment, and so what does the campaign, or what is the campaign doing to recommend either to policymakers or healthcare providers to support treatment?
I think they need to broaden the span of what the healthcare actually will take care of. Because if you have healthcare insurance and then they only deal with what the FDA approves, but the FDA doesn't approve other cancer treatments and other types of treatments that allows the person to get a comprehensive medical plan, what ends up happening is that the patient has to foot the bill. And these medical plans, we all know that medical billing is over exaggerated. They're inflating all the prices to where we can't really afford it anyway. But
Hmm.
the goal is to get these policymakers and get people in the government, whether it's be state, federal, or local, to push for more money that's going to be in the treatment plan, to where the person is not having to foot the bill for a large amount of money for something that they know they can't cover.
Mm, yeah. I we're about out of time, but I just want to say that if there's anybody that really could be a good messenger for this, is your dad. I mean, I want folks to know that, despite his health condition, that he is still with us, and that you're working with him to continue. But then, he spent so much of his life supporting all the things that we need in the civil rights movement, working with civil rights leaders, conveying the message of freedom and justice for all. So if you could just, in a really short, if you can, I know he's lived a full life, but,
Yeah.
tell us how he's doing, and give us just a little bit of, I know he performed with the uh, Freedom Singers. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
Okay, so just,
he's my father, Charles D. Neblett, PhD. He was in the civil rights movement starting out in the early '60s. He was with the SNCC Freedom Singers, with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He was a singer, activist, fundraiser. He was a leader within the community in the civil rights movement. He spanned the span of 60 years being a civil rights activist, and so he was the likes of John Lewis, Harry Belafonte, Fannie Lou Hamer, you name it. He's been in that circle and being good friends, which most of, if not all of them, have been my godparents. Um, and now he has been passing down this tremendous honor of his legacy to his children. So what we have done is, because he wants to expand the name of his name associated with the prostate, because he wanted to bring awareness, and we wanted to do that as a family. And we started this hashtag Black Prostate Challenge with a few strong supporters of it. And now he is raising funds, because that's a key thing that we have to do, is raise funds. And he has a fundraiser with the Give a Hand under Charles D. Neblett to make sure that he gets the comprehensive treatment that he deserves. He's poured into this country. He's poured into this community. He has done more than enough to be blessed with the honor of dying of he's dying of natural causes, not cancer, but to live a full life and to smile back at his life and to see his children and grandchildren be proud of him, and as a community as a whole to get the flowers while he's alive.
Well, if I can just say on behalf of Let's Talk and the Washington Informer, Kwesi, just give your dad our regards. Tell him we thank him for blessing us with your presence here today and for spreading the word. And again, it's Black Prostate
Check Challenge.
Check Challenge. Black Prostate Check Challenge. We want everybody to remember that. Go to Black Prostate Check. Even when you go get your prostate exam, just put it on your social media. You know, Black Prostate Check Challenge, and to say that you have actually checked it and that you're going to work to support some of the initiatives that we've heard here today. So I want to thank you so much for being with us. Keep us up to date on how things are going.
Will do. Thank you for having me, Denise.
My pleasure. Okay, take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.